This was back in my wild party boy days. I was young, fearless, and just like any guy in their 20s, I had nothing to lose. I was out with a group of friends. We were getting pretty twisted and out for New Year's Eve. And this had nothing to do with it being New Year's. I was always out partying, drinking, having a good time. We were going from bar to bar, and the night was about over. I got in a fight with my girlfriend at the time. She left, so I kept drinking. And by the end of the night, I was the only one of the people I went out with that was still out. I was around people I didn't know, and wound up at a bar that I would go to at the end of the night that was near my house. At this point, I was having trouble standing, but it took a lot to keep me down. I remember looking at the entrance of the bar, and I saw my younger sister. The only thing is, my sister had died when we were younger. And she looked the same way she did at 8 years old, and I see her just standing at the doorway to this pub. So I stand up to go walk towards her, even though I think I must be dreaming. And that's it. I just remember things went black. I woke up in a hospital, but what I was told was that I had fell outside near the bar on the street and hit my head really hard on the pavement, along with breaking my foot when I tried to ride away on someone's bicycle. They called an ambulance for me, and I had flatlined on the way to the hospital. What I remember is that I saw myself floating through this dark space. I could not see myself, just this big black void, and I felt like I was traveling pretty fast through this void. I tried to look down at my body, but I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see if I was hurt. But I suddenly didn't feel drunk, and I actually felt really good and conscious, until I didn't see my sister anymore. I was now getting upset, because one minute she was there, and the next she wasn't. So now, I'm getting angry, because I want to see her. I haven't seen her in 15 years, and I finally get to see her, and she's gone. So I try calling out her name. Emily. Emily. I keep calling out for her, and then I see this light that keeps getting closer to me. It's getting bigger and bigger, and I now feel like I'm speeding towards it. Suddenly I'm enshrined in this golden light, and I see these other lights in the light, if that makes sense. They're all different colors, and some I feel are people, but I can't see them. I only feel them. I can feel my grandparents there. I have a friend who died also, and he's there too. But I don't see their faces, I just know it's them. And they're talking to me, telling me that I died. And then I see Emily's light. She is there, she takes my hand and then gives me a big hug. And it was the most amazing feeling. She tells me where I am, that it's kind of like a waiting area before I get shown by the masters what my life was like and how I did with my time on Earth. And then she tells me, "No, you're not dreaming, Jimmy." As if she could read my thoughts. I try to ask her questions, but they are not coming out. I start getting a little upset at this point, and I start thinking, am I really dead? Emily then directs me to this other place that looks like a huge city of lights, and what I could feel are all other energies of people or souls. And in all this time, we are traveling in a blink. It all goes very fast. I come to another energy, and this one feels overwhelmingly loving and strong. And it's familiar, but I can't name it. I'm not religious or anything. I'm still not, but it almost feels like it could be what other people think Jesus is. And it really does not have a face, although it has a human-looking figure. It starts to show me my life. And when I read about this afterwards, what I have learned about other people who have had near-death experiences, it's called a life review. And it tells me how I did with my life, the good, the bad, and what my purpose was in this lifetime. Now I start feeling like a failure, because I did not accomplish what I was supposed to do. A lot of the bad that went wrong in my life at that point was due to my partying, I was shown, and how I kept on being distracted by my path because I couldn't stop. Then this energy tells me that I can go back, but I will not be the same. I'm going to wake up from a coma, and it will take me some time to regain some strength and movement, and maybe I would lose some feeling in my feet and ankles. Or I could stay here in this place and wait until it is my time to go back to Earth. I then remember what my purpose was, and I feel like if I go back, I can fix things moving forward and live doing what I was supposed to do. I am seeing the not-so-great things I did, the people I harmed, and the anger that I had, especially after losing my sister. I see how I let my anger consume me, followed by my drinking and partying. I then am brought back to Emily, and she tells me that it would be better if I tried to go back, and that I am promised a good life if I can work on my life's purpose. That things will get better, and that if I work on my anger and start living my life in a better way, I would come back again when I was old, and after I lived a full life. At this point, I'm a little confused because I start to feel amazing where I am, and don't really want to come back to my human form. But before I can say anything, start to feel myself traveling again. But this time I'm floating, and I feel my energy getting lighter, almost like I was being cleaned of all the pain in my life. And then, it's all black again. I regained consciousness 2 days later in the ICU. I had suffered a concussion. I cracked my skull on the pavement and had collapsed on my left side, breaking my foot the way I fell. I was in a good amount of pain afterwards, and as soon as I was conscious enough, I told the nurse to stop giving me painkillers as I had problems abusing them in the past. My parents were there at my side when I woke up, and I wound up going to rehab. When I told my mother I saw Emily, she cried and told me she had dreamt about her while I was in the hospital. I don't have any doubts about what I saw or experienced, and the doctors told me that I had been declared dead on my way to the hospital. But they were able to bring me back. I have tried to make my promise to Emily to live a better life, and I put down the substances that took me off my path. My life is a lot better. My anger has lifted, and I try to help others, since seeing how selfish I had been in what I call my previous life, or my life before my near-death experience. I make time for my family, and I try not to be an ass at work to my co-workers, and try to live in the day rather than think about the past. I can't undo the past, but the promise of a good life that Emily had told me about has already come to pass, and things keep getting better. When I have a bad day, I remember what my life was like, and how much things have changed since then, and how the future is only going to be better. I don't know how or why Emily was able to come to me so vividly at the bar, before what I remember as me blacking out. I know she was looking out for me and saved me from whatever dimension she exists in. I don't talk about this often, but she is the reason my life is better today, and I owe it to her to stay on the right track and help others the way she has helped me.